Texas lawmakers have made a push to make it legal for citizens to openly carry guns without needing a license. The bill passed the House of Representatives, but now stalls in the Senate for lack of votes. This comes in the wake of multiple mass shootings across the country in the past month. Here to talk about this is Ed Scruggs from Texas Gun Sense. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Again, the Texas House passed permitless carrying of handguns in Texas, but on Monday, the lieutenant governor said the Senate doesn't have the votes to pass the legislation out of the Senate. Ed, what do you make of this, and what seems to be reluctance there?
Well, I think that was welcome news. We were waiting to see how the Senate would react after the House passed it. I think it indicates that there are some senators who are being a little more deliberative about this. And I think they've seen some of the polling. A recent UT Tyler poll out last week showed that only 26% of Texans really favored doing away with our current licensing system to carry a handgun. So I think that word is getting into the minds of some senators who are thinking, do we really want to take this step and go this far when there's not overwhelming support or even a majority support for that step?
The bill is being coined as constitutional carry because of its expansion of Second Amendment rights for Texans. What argument would you make to not allow open carry without a permit? If you could expand on that.
Well, first of all, the term constitutional carry is political speak. It's not guaranteed in the Constitution. We know that from Supreme Court rulings, the Heller decision, which said states, municipalities do have a right to regulate the carry of firearms. So this is just something that's been out there for the last decade or two from the fringe of the gun rights movement, that they don't want any regulations on the right to carry or use firearms. And so this is their big goal. They've always been aiming to chip away at our system here in Texas, which is a well-built system established over several decades and respected across the country. Our licensing training regime that we have, which is reasonable and affordable to the average Texan, they want to do away with it.
Now, lawmakers who are pushing the bill say it's specifically focused on, again, expanding Second Amendment rights, but that it still regulates where someone can carry their guns. It also still outlaws felons from carrying guns. Do you think these regulations would be easy to enforce?
I think what it actually does, it makes it much easier for anyone to carry a firearm just about anywhere. There is language within this bill a lot of people don't realize will make it more difficult. For example, if someone were to carry a firearm into a business, even if there was a sign posted saying that's not allowed, you have to actually talk to the person, vocally telling them that they need to leave, and then they have to decide that they're not going to leave before you could call police. Now, who's going to do that if you go to the supermarket, et cetera? We have enough trouble getting people to comply with mask orders. So there's a lot in this bill that would make it much easier to carry just about anywhere you want. Sure, felons under the law would be outlawed, but who's going to ask them? I mean, it's not going to be brought up until they choose to use the firearm in a way that breaks the law. So, yeah, this step will make it more complicated, especially for police officers to try to enforce carry laws around the state.
All right, we are out of time, but Ed, thank you so much for sharing your perspective with us tonight.
Thank you so much. Glad you had me.